Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to F1 2020 My Team Career Mode here for the Belgian Grand Prix, and we're joining the action just after practice, looking at the amount of resource points we gained. I think we passed every single practice programme with flying colours. It is Belgium. I love Belgium a lot. It suits the car down to a T, and with it qualifying now it's actually round 14. I messed up Hungary. I thought Hungary was around 15, so that's actually around 13. And I'm feeling pretty confident for this race. I feel like a top 10 is definitely possible. We'll have to wait and see. It's actually coming to finish our first lap in qualifying. It's been a pretty decent lap. But as we come out of the bus stop chicane, we're actually entering low fuel mode and we just drift across the line. And unfortunately, we get a 1:42.9, so we've had to go out again at the end of the session. I'm going to take you on a hot lap around Spa. So starting the lap now, you want to take a wide exit to make best use of your top end speed. Go braking into turn 1 around the, I think that's the DRS line there that you see. Second gear, chuck it in, get very close up to the wall. We actually touch it a little bit there. Go through Eau Rouge and Radion. A Radion and Eau Rouge actually. Wait, no, Eau Rouge and Radion, of course. Anyway, we want to take as straight a line up there as possible. Going down the Cobble Straight now into Lake Holm. Fourth gear here, keep the car close to the apex. Shift up into fifth to get a nice flying run out of, don't know what that corner is. Go down to the understeering corner. We lock up the inside front as we always do. Short shift into fourth gear from second. Now we go to No Name. Fifth gear corner, so you chuck the car in, let it run wide but not too wide, otherwise you will get your lap invalidated. Now go down to P1, we hold in 7th gear. Keep the foot relatively flat to the floor, we lift off a little bit and we're actually gaining, we're up by half a tenth now nearly. Going down into the chicane, 5th gear through the first part and the second part, we run a bit wide. Going to the second part, we're going to Stabilo 1, we want to shift down into 4th gear. We actually run quite wide, so we shift it down to 3rd and short shift up. And now go through Stabilo 2. And I would let the car just run all the way down the second back straight, go to the bus stop, go through Pouon now in 8th gear. We're 4 tenths up, so hopefully we'll try and find a bit more of improvement going over the line. Heavy brake into the bus stop, you want to shift down to 2nd gear, rotate the car quickly to the left for the second part, straight up as much as possible, very clean exit, and we go across the line and we improve by nearly 9 tenths. And where's that going to put us? Only 18th. Wow, I was very disappointed with that. I feel like we could have done very well here, but only 18th place is very disappointing qualifying result. But guess we'll have to make it back up in the race, which I feel like we can do. As you can see, Jack there doing a 41.7, that gets in P12. And what did we do? We did a 42.0, so we're only just over a tenth off getting to the say-so, but unfortunately we didn't make it. Somehow Carlos Sainz qualified worse than us, so that means with 2 races remaining, the rivalry breakdown is quite close. It's 90-20 in favour of Carlos, well, 2019 in favour of Carlos Sainz. So yeah, let's move it to the race now. Let's hope for at least a decent haul of points, or even a points finish at this point.
Welcome along then to the Belgian Grand Prix, the race that gave us the maiden victory for the Jordan team in 1998. And in the same team, the phenomenal debut of a young Michael Schumacher. There's always something special around one of the many corners at this fan-favourite circuit. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Red. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast. So they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Albon, Charles Leclerc and Ricciardo, Vettel, Perez, Ocon and Lando Norris, Gasly, Aitken, Kimi Raikkonen and Grosjean, Magnussen, Fiat, Red and Antonio Giovinazzi, Stroll, Sainz, Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So here we are, lined up for the grid. Our race engineer is asking for a points finish. It's a pretty simple one-stop. Softs to the mediums. I don't really want to go mediums to softs. I feel like I want to make up a lot of positions quite early on in the race. We are going to overfuel the car quite heavily, I think, because we're going to be needing to use a lot of rich fuel. What it's actually done for some reason is selected the softs to hard strategy. Our personalised strategy is actually just do softs hards, but I know I can make the mediums last. We're going to lower the wings to 1.6 because that's I feel like that's a better race trim than qualifying trim. And we're going to start the race. So getting underway now, we've got 3, 4, now 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Kvyat on the left side gets a fantastic initial launch, then bogs down in second gear. We get a fantastic second phase of our launch. And we've got the inside of a load of cars going into La Source. And that's currently P12, but I think our teammate's going to out-drag us on the exit, so we're P13 now. Made up 5 positions off of the start, which is very good. And now let's see how many positions we can get at the top of Eau Rouge as we flick it up into overtaking into Rich. And now the big slipstream train comes into play here. We're closing not as quickly on Jack as what I had expected. We have a look, but he brakes quite early, so we managed to dive him down the inside. Very risky move. That was very spur of the moment decision because Jack braked quite early. But luckily we managed to make it work and that puts us into P12. It's actually everyone goes so slow through the understeery corner. That's his actual name, by the way. Look it up, confirmed. You heard it here first. But yeah, everyone was going ridiculously slowly through there, so we had to brake. We had to stamp on the brakes quite heavily, and that meant we ran wide and Jack was able to get up our inside. But we forced Jack out wide, going through no name, and he actually loses position to Grosjean, who was doing the alternate strategy, starting on the mediums. I assume going to softs, which is what he should be doing. We now cut on to lap 6. Nothing actually really happened. I was quite slow on the softs compared to those in front. So I should get a little bit of a stamp of oversteer here. There is a yellow flag out of the source. Some people have pitted. We've been promoted up into P9. And it looks like one of the Ferraris. It is Charles Leclerc is out of the race. The race that he won a year ago. He's retired on lap 7 He's retired on lap 7. As we cut on to the end of lap 7, beginning of lap 8, some more people have pitted. That promotes us up into position 5. They're going to go to the hard tyres, as you can see. So they're going to... I don't think they'll actually get a decent undercut on us or overcut us by a large extent. As you can see, we're coming in for our pit stop now. I believe Jack made his pit stop the lap before. We're going to be onto the medium tyres. Those medium tyres will take us to the end of the race. So we're going to be very quick at the first 5-10 laps compared to the hardcore power runners. But we're going to be quite slow towards the end. 2.5 seconds stop. Grosjean actually has a 5-second penalty. I don't know what that's for. That could be speeding the pit lane maybe. As Jack Aitken has actually jumped us. So too with Max Verstappen. I don't know whereabouts he started actually. I know Grosjean. Well, Grosjean hasn't stopped yet, so I think we managed to pull out a massive margin over those cars. But yeah, anyway, we overtake Verstappen with the help of DRS and overtake, and now we've got to hunt down Grosjean, who I think hasn't stopped. I could be wrong. I don't think he has. As Aitken and Perez are battling quite heavily, Grosjean's no good to get involved. We're going to be waiting and watching brief, looking for an opportunity to potentially do so, because Grosjean goes quite slow. We try and barge our way past us, right? We actually had a pit stop over our teammate. so he hasn't jumped us at all. So that's a sigh of relief right there. Unfortunately we didn't run able to get past Grosjean, so we're going to have to wait to the Camel Straight to get past him, and using overtake here and Rich, we should be able to breeze past him. Look at the closing speed. I could probably turn overtake off now, still get past him. There you go. We shoot past Grosjean, puts us up into P7. Now we've got to hunt down Prez, who's on the mediums, so that could be pretty easy pickings, so we've got to do it quickly. And then Gasly's on the mediums. We've used a lot of overtake here. Actually cut over to lap 19 now. Nothing much really happened, it was just a case of closing on Perez. That's why I've used a lot of overtake. We're trying to get closer, but Perez was very quick on those hards, sorry. Our mediums have started to die off quite a bit. And now we're going to be trying to get past him on lap 19. Let's see, we're closing on him. We're closing on him quite heavily here. We could have a look down into Lake Holm. As he goes to face, we go right round the outside, gives us the inside for the second part of Lake Holm, and we managed to get past him. Gasly's 1.8 seconds on the race, so we probably won't be getting him in this race. And we're still held up from Perez here actually, as we cut to lap 22. Lewis Hamilton's won the Grand Prix. I think it's a 1-2 from Mercedes, and now we've got to defend. We've got 12% of ERS left. We saved it down the main straight on this lap to use it all the way down into the bus stop chicane. Depleted the entire battery reserve. Heavy braking into here, and Perez doesn't have any more opportunities. We're going to come across the line in position 6, starting from P20, so weaving the wheel there. That was a fantastic race, and I'm really happy with that result. Managed to where we claw it back from after qualifying.
What a great race then, and what a magnificent victory here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's review the driver's standings. Well, the gap at the top of the
So overall a very decent race. We pick up 8 points. We started P17 actually. I think someone had a grid penalty. We managed to beat Science as well. Our teammate dropped down the order quite heavily. He must have lost so much time at the start battling with people. That's the only explanation I can give to him not being at least, well, on the first page. He's in the top 14. Overall, I think that was a decent race. Hamilton is going to be putting pressure on his teammates here. Jack Aikens down in 17th. His race pace is not very good at all, so we might have to put some investment into that. Standings wise, Bottas leads, but by 11 points now. Hamilton's closing in, so it could be quite a tasty battle between the two Mercedes up front. We jump up into P8 in the drivers, up to 61 points now. But McLaren unfortunately jumps us in the constructors, so we're down to position 8 now. Again, I'm sticking with what I said in Hungary. I'm going to aim for top 7 in the drivers. Constructors, I think 7th or 6th is probably our best bet. As you can see, we're beating Sainz in the rivalry now. Team McLean, we've been boosted to level 11, which is good. I don't think we get anything from that though. We managed to get 650k from our sponsors for beating all of their target objectives, and we're just slowly increasing money at this point. I'm going to try and save some of the money potentially for a different driver next season. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know what to do with Jack, but we're going to be actually doing a weight training. Oh no, we're going to be doing chassis building. I'm currently looking at something I could potentially invest in here, and I think I'm going to go for resource point generation, try and get as many R&D points as possible, because I'm suspecting that there will be a R&D or a rule change as we get the resource point development for the durability section as well. So I'm suspecting that will come in at some point. We're going to be doing I think a weight reduction upgrade. Yes, we are. That should come on in time for maybe the Japanese Grand Prix. It's going to advance time now. And we're going to go to the Italian Grand Prix, which will be next episode. The fabrication process has come through, so that means we'll be able to put more developments on in time. But yeah, Belgium, very good race. I managed to recover it really well from slight P17, so I'm very happy with what I did this race. Could have been better if qualifying had have worked out for us, but fortunately it didn't. But yeah, I'm still happy with the result, and if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, share and subscribe, and I will see you all for round 15, the Italian Grand Prix, my favourite, or one of my favourite tracks on the F1 calendar. Let's hope we can have a fantastic result there, so I'll see you all then.